I don't know.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. But anyway, yeah, we have a special guest. Finally, our first official, we could say, first live guest, which is my brother Art. Flew in from New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Just kidding.
Basically.
No. He's you're coming in from where?
Fort Knox, Kentucky. Kentucky.
One subject we haven't covered yet is music, and kind of just diving into a different subject today. Pretty much anything about music. Just say it right.
Real quick, Art should tell us a little bit about his background.
Yeah.
Just because, we're going to be talking about music and they're going to be like, well, who's he to say anything,
Yeah,
so
we don't know.
Tell us a little bit of what you do, how music kind of was brought up into your life, and what it is you do now. That'd be kind of cool to get an insight of what is that.
So my background is pretty plain. It's white. If you don't know me, Art Avila III, Adrian's brother.
The third.
And Aaron's best friend from
way back in the day.
From birth. Just kidding. No, just kidding. We go back 15 years now? Or older?
About 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since middle school.
Anyways, me and Adrian come from a musical family from our dad. We all picked up instruments at some point. I just happened to pick up guitar just because I remember going to my dad's gigs at a young age, and I just was so mesmerized by the guitar. So I started playing around 4, and just haven't stopped since. And then when we were about right before middle school, 11, 12-ish.
When you're all were adults already?
We started, me and Adrian just started jamming together and playing, or trying to play these really hard songs that were over our heads.
Yeah.
Technically challenging.
Yeah.
But we just loved it because that's what the music we grew up with.
Yeah.
And then I think around when I was 12 is when I actually started composing my own original music.
Yeah.
And then we started our band with our other brother Andres. Mm-hmm. We were the Art Avila Trio.
We were doing jazz. That's the first thing we started. We did jazz covers. We were just doing the mainstream jazz stuff.
Jazz standards. But then we also had
Girl from Ipanema, Take 5, all this jazz standards. And then
But then we also had original jazz songs too. Mm-hmm. So we
kind of incorporated both.
Yeah.
Mix of both.
So the original aspect was still there no matter what genre we were playing.
Yeah.
And then our first gig was at the Starbucks on Trans Mountain over there.
I remember going to that.
And Aaron was there. That was our first official gig.
That was over almost.
That was in 2009 or 2008 or something like that.
God.
2009. I think summer going into 8th grade.
50+ years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
That's a long time. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Doesn't feel like it,
too.
but
I remember going. Everyone from school I would see.
Everybody was
Eastwood. All the
But
stupid drinks.
But we ended. This next song is called Blackjack.
Jeez.
Those guys.
We don't really talk to the audience, but here it comes. I'm like, what?
Here it comes.
Yeah, seriously. That's how those guys were, the emo hair days.
Anyway,
that's how it was.
I mean, we were too. We had the long hair and beanies. Anyway, okay, and then so middle school, high school, we finally formed our original band together as brothers. Mm-hmm. And then after high school, we all kind of went our separate ways. Andres already had joined the Army right out of college, Army band.
Yeah.
And then
the band.
How long was it till you?
Andres joined in 2015.
Yeah.
And then I joined in 2019.
Yeah. Because you were transitioning from LA.
Yeah. So let me backtrack.
Let's take it back a little.
Yeah.
So after high school, kind of went our separate ways. I actually moved, or I got married really young, a year after high school. Mm-hmm. And then my wife and I moved to San Antonio.
Yeah.
And then came back, and then went to LA. And when we went to LA, it was because I got accepted to Musicians Institute in LA. One of the
It's not easy to do.
Yeah. But and then also before that, I had got accepted to Berklee College of Music in Boston, but didn't get to go because
Yeah, financial.
I had no financial support at the time.
Financial reasons, but hey,
Yeah.
still
yeah,
awesome to at
hard
least
to-
be accepted.
hard to get into.
That's hard to get into.
But
Yep.
anyway, but I did get to go to MI for like 1 year, so that was really cool. I learned a lot in just that short time period. I didn't get to graduate also because of financial reasons.
Yeah.
So that was like one of the reasons what like kind of
Yeah.
influenced me to join the military, just so I can finally have a way to pay for school, you know, because
Right.
I always was motivated to go to school, you know, for music, and I just never had the money, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, 2019, I rose my right hand and joined the military.
right.
There we go.
But I joined the military
Next
band.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an actual job in the army that a lot of people still don't know, is that there's a band, you know, that you can play an instrument as a job in the army, you know.
Crazy.
Like
I know,
that's
right?
I didn't know that. I was
It's not like
what?
a side thing that like
Yeah.
some people just do for fun. It's like that's an actual job.
Yes. Yeah.
That's definitely pretty cool.
And I think if I had known that too, like right out of high school, maybe I would have done that earlier, so I could have gone to college
Right.
later, or like earlier in my life, you know, and had money to pay for. That was like the important thing, you know, is having the money to actually,
School's not cheap.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cheap suits.
But
Well, that's
what do
cool.
you call it? So yeah, the army band, and that's where I'm at now. I've been in almost 5 years.
Yeah.
And I've got to experience like music in a professional level that I never did, like just growing up when we were gigging all over El Paso and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
different
taught me,
from playing local bars versus what you're doing now.
because it's
Going
at
on
a
tour over here.
oh yeah the
across.
band that I'm in now, the army band, is like it's a broadening assignment, and it's just a rock band that tours all of the U.S. And then we even went to like Puerto Rico for the first time.
Wow, that's cool.
Earlier this year. But and now like being on tour and playing, like it's a recruiting company that I'm a part, that this band is a part of. So like the main mission is to recruit and to like show people, you know, like, hey, did you know you could do this in the army? Like this is an actual job. You can play instrument.
awesome.
Like how cool would that would have been if like you had seen them when you were younger?
Right, yeah.
They would have like reached out to you and been like, hey, like this is, you know, what we do.
Right.
And you know, I know you have interest in music too. Like I'm pretty sure if you were like 18, you know, 17, 18 years old, you would have been like, dang, like that's a path that I could do like right out of high school, like you said. So
Yeah.
I remember, even I tried it. I tried out the Air Force, didn't make it, the requirements, and then even the Army band too. And I remember it was just a big. It just turned out to be like not as what I thought it was going to be, because it was all focused on, because I was going in for drum set, but then the requirements of the percussion.
Yeah.
That's what got me.
You have to know both percussion
they had
and
the
drum
mallets,
set.
everything, and the bells and the timpani, everything, and I
it's pretty
still
much like just all around.
Yeah. kind of like a
Because you're not called drummer, you're called a percussionist.
yes, yeah. That was the only thing that separated. Well, I guess even to get in, because I couldn't hang with the percussion, but I'm
like,
sure are the rules changed now?
I think the audition process is a little different now. Like they don't count all the percussion stuff. It doesn't. The points aren't gonna hurt you as much as they did before. You know, like if you scored lower on the percussion stuff.
See,
I know at the time, it was still like the old version or whatever.
That wasn't the case.
I would have been in there with you.
right there.
But I mean, it's okay though. It's a
It's an experience,
next
I'm
chapter.
sure.
Yeah, another thing to look forward to. But
yeah, I'm not gonna say it's the best job like musically, because obviously you still have to be a soldier,
Right,
And
right.
for me, like, you know, I'm not really. I was like, I didn't even think I would ever join the army, and like no one. I was like, if you ask anyone that knows me, like, they'd be like, "What? You're joining the army?" You know? Like, I don't know. I kind of it happened super fast, but here I am now.
that's cool.
But anyway, so yeah, just touring now and just playing for like high schools. That's what we do. We play in high schools and just show that this is a job, not just music, but there's other like unique jobs in the Army. Like there's the recruiting company that I'm part of. There's a fishing or outdoors team, like fisher. You can fish for the Army.
That's cool. Wow.
There's a esports gaming team.
What?
Oh my god.
You play games and like compete. I know. Yeah, but
I didn't even know that.
Compete. They go to like expos and like Comic Cons and stuff, and just like
I didn't know that.
And then can't you be like a photographer in the?
I mean, there's like content creators, but I don't know if that's like there might be. I don't know if that is an actual MLS.
That there's an actual specific someone who takes photos and videos.
Well, that's what I do on that's my side duty.
Yeah.
Like I'm the guitar player in the band, but I also am in charge of the public affairs.
God,
so like I have to.
Esports
that's cool.
Team is crazy.
But yeah, esports.
I was like, what?
And then there's a Warriors fitness team, so like bodybuilders.
Wow.
That go to those competitions.
That's cool.
And then
that's good.
There's like parachute jumpers or something that like
it's crazy
that's
how
all
like an outsider, right? Kind of use the Army, and you just see a soldier. You just see someone who's like training to go to war and stuff.
Because it's from the movies, you know. It's like that's what we're all grown up
the
to.
Stereotype, right?
Yeah.
But until you actually know someone who's in it, who does something a little different, and kind of can give you an insight to like what else there is.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of cool.
It does help. Yeah.
It just seems like there's so much more opportunity.
And it's either good or bad. Like when people find out what you do. Like I don't know how many like older people when they ask like what I do in the Army, and I'm like, oh, I'm a musician, and they're like, what?
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, I'm in the Army band. They're like, there's a band? I'm like, yeah, since 1776.
So you're not like with the you're not like
there's
with
literally
machine
not at the front lines.
Yeah.
So, it's because our grandparents are always asking you like.
But I mean that's what a lot of people don't know is that the band has literally been around since the beginning of the Army, you know. So like
a long time.
Like obviously there wasn't like a rock band, you know, the colonial times or whatever. But you know, obviously it's grown. But
that's cool.
But anyway, so yeah, that's like my background. So
a little background there. That's nice. Cool.
So I guess the biggest question next, following up to that, is how do you, again, with the way you are now in your touring and your shows now, what is it that you've learned from like the real musician, the touring musician, versus the musicians who do it for not for fun, but also like they kind of do it to get the image, or they do it for the, you know, like
to do it for fame.
Yeah.
So like, what is the?
I mean, I think every musician, like that's our dream, whether you want it or not, is, you know, like not to like necessarily be famous, but you know, just to be known for what you do, you know,
in front of people.
It's like the La La Land
Yeah.
moment where she tells him, what is it? She says, since when do you like being liked, or whatever? And he's like, this is the dream. He's like, this is what I signed on for. He's like, she's like, but do you like the music you're playing? Remember, she questions him, like saying, but are you even happy doing it? You know,
that's how I feel right now. Just like, but yeah, and then it's different too from the Army and the actual outside world of musicians, you know, because Army, you have everything paid for. You know, like it's. I mean, you still have to like schlep your gear and all that and set up your own stuff. It's not like we just show up and then they hand me a guitar. You know, like I still have to put all the work. We drive around ourselves. Like we drive in a big trailer with all the equipment.
That's good.
So it's not like it's not like I'm not like Bon Jovi where
you just show up. You just perform. Nah, you got to do the hard work.
Yeah. So, but just the touring experience is like something I've always wanted, you know, like that was something I always really wanted to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely different being on that side now versus just the local gig, the little bar gigs, weddings, or whatever.
Like lifestyle because of you have a system, you have a way, you know, everything the way it works, and I mean, I'm sure there's like conflict though with the people, I'm sure, in certain areas, like the business part of it, but you know, you're actually playing on stage, you know, and I know, because like me playing in local bars, it's tiring. Like,
Yeah.
I was doing that for a little while, and yeah, it's like it gets tiring. Like,
You guys did it at such a young age too, you know.
Yeah.
You guys were teens playing
I know,
in bars,
yeah.
you know. Like that's what.
But it's because again, yeah, because we grew up because my dad was a musician, and like all three of us, me, Art, and Andres, we started with jazz, and we were playing what the pop jazz was back then. What it was the norm with everybody what was playing, which was jazz standards, and we were just always playing the little little small gigs, and
Just
people
background.
always in the bars, always telling us,
Background music.
"You guys,
I know we were already quiet. Still
we're
tell
like,
us to be.
we're literally at like piano, dude. We're at piano level. We're like, and can you
just play?
can you shut the fuck up?
That's what I would have told them.
I know.
What?
But and then we were doing that already. You were like a 7th grader, and I was already like an 8th grader. We were already gigging like at 14.
Yeah.
I remember this guy
bars.
getting to school all tired, dude, because you'd be out.
Yeah,
late.
because we would have like we had this when we played at Mesa Street Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not there anymore, right?
No.
Yeah. But we used to play like every other week, and sometimes it was like on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So like it was like
School
8 to
night.
12. It was a 4-hour set.
Yeah.
And by the time we got home, it was like almost 2
Yeah.
because we always had to get Whataburger after, So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then just having to go to school the next day, I was just like in class,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's musicians' life it's pretty challenging, And then
On top of that, it's also practicing
Yeah.
your craft.
Right.
The
It's
time
not
that's spent also learning the material.
yeah.
That's the other flip side that everybody thinks, oh, you're on stage, you're playing, but it's like, yeah, but I
That's
have
like
no life coming
that's
home.
the like smallest
Yeah.
or that's like the shortest amount that everyone sees, like because we do these music festival shows.
Yeah.
Our sets are only 25 minutes because there's so many bands.
all your rehearsal time,
But
basically.
yeah, everything leading up to that is
There's
countless
so much
hours.
planning. There's so much hours spent learning songs, repetition.
yeah, making
Yeah.
like composing music, so like it's all.
So like most of the musicians that do it for fun, what would you say like like when you cringe when you see, I don't know, like like something, right?
Good point, because we had that conversation the other day where you were showing me a clip of Nick Jonas and he's doing a guitar solo and it sucked.
Yeah.
Right? But you think of the Jonas Brothers,
Yeah.
they're this like global, like they're,
Yeah,
you know,
they're pop or rock star. I don't know.
Yeah, they're pop
but-
stars. Yeah,
But they're more celebrity than musician.
Right.
That's what I was talking about,
yeah.
And
That's like
that's why everyone every time growing, even like in middle school, like everyone would be like, "Oh, you like the Jonas Brothers? How come you don't like Jonas Brothers?" Like, because they're not musicians,
Yeah.
But I don't hate any, I don't hate any of those artists. Like they're obviously successful. They've obviously cracked the code to like make it big time.
Right.
But as a musician, like I don't look up to them as music icons.
Right,
They're
yeah.
not Michael Jackson.
Yeah. I get you.
All those guys.
Like Taylor Swift, all of them. They've kind of done like the simplicity, basically.
Yeah, because music over the years has become simple.
Yeah.
Music has become simple now.
Yeah.
Because, and then even like what Desiree said, like she listens for the words.
Yeah,
And that's like,
lyrics.
I would say that's the majority of listeners, people who are like non-musicians. Like they listen for words and not so much what's happening behind the words,
Music,
Yeah,
musicality.
I think there's like two sides. People want to listen for words to relate to, and then there's other people like you who listen to what's going on in the back, how's that
music.
being put together,
Yeah, and it's like
So-
like this, even like the latest Taylor Swift album, it's like 40 songs or something, but they're like almost all of them are like this, like it's so they're very similar, Like if she did like a rock album, like
That'd
then
be cool,
like that's what I would look forward to, like oh, okay, like because she could do anything at this point,
Yeah,
Like, she
that's
could.
why she's one who can like do multiple genres,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. I mean, I don't listen to her that much, besides from what Desiree does, but like
Yeah.
from when she started Taylor Swift to now, man, like
It's-
it was like mainly country.
Yeah.
She started, right? And
Country,
now
folk.
It's just like
She's evolved into something else.
It's just
which
yeah,
is
pop.
cool. I
Right.
think I think you appreciate more people like that who can kind of like
they move with the times.
You're mentioning Lady Gaga.
Oh yeah,
too.
The jazz album that she did with Tony Bennett, and that's when I got so much respect for her when I heard that album, because I was like, oh, she's a pop artist, but she can do both. She can do jazz now. And then when I heard that, I was like, okay, she has my respect, because I know she has other talents hidden underneath all the pop image and the looks, the dresses. I know she can sing.
That's what happens
any other.
when you make the mainstream level. Is like it becomes more about the image than the actual, because they're like, no one wants to see you with the guitar. They just want to see you in a crazy outfit.
To just get some views, get looks.
So like, I do like how people like Lady Gaga, like she doesn't care and she still does everything.
Even like bands like the bands that we grew up, like Kiss, those guys are all like image. They're high heels and face paint and all that, but the music is more.
There's always been image in music. It's just now it seems like people go just for that. Like it's
evolved into something else where it's not about the music anymore. It's more about like physically, what do you offer, and then what do you also like, what is your like the spitting image of what does society agree with you, basically. I don't know how to like how would describing it, but the music, obviously the notes, that's the notes are pretty much less notes, more clothes.
Less clothes
and
less notes.
Less ass. No, less music, more ass.
But like,
no, I'm just kidding.
Right now, like where I'm at now is like when I hear like these newest artists that come out, these like other one hit, these TikTok songs, like they get famous because of TikTok. Which is like a great platform to like really throw your music all over the world in a short amount of time. Like it is amazing, with the streaming technology and all that now is like, it's pretty crazy. But I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good point, because I remember Aaron and we touched up on this not too long ago about the arts, about how what Aaron said. He said someone's valued less that does more, and then the person who does less is valued more. So like that's a really good, it's like that debate or controversy basically of like a real artist that really does the shows, does all this, but then there's like a 4-year-old that blows up for doing a cover of some pop star or something. It could be anybody, a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old doing like a Rush cover, or it could be like even like a simple song, and then they get like millions of viewers when the algorithm of when we post stuff, we're always doing stuff that challenges us musically, but we get like 20 views and that's it. But
200 views.
Because we're not targeting we're targeting a certain audience, and everybody has their certain lanes, and because we're musicians, we're the instrumental stuff, like the stuff without the lyrics. How can we tell our story without the lyrics? Basically painting a painting, but there's no form as far as it's just like always scattered, because we're always thinking outside of the box. We're not thinking very square, basically. That's what pop music is. It's square. I mean, that we all know it. I mean, you know it because when you play it, it's like
same 4 chords. And like every pop song that makes it is like the same 4 chords, just a catchy melody, a little hook, right? And then obviously the lyrics or what's going on.
If you had to give someone advice, right? People who are like kind of like in your shoes when they were younger, they had a style that they wanted to do and they wanted to stick with it. What would you, I guess, tell them? What would you? Because now you're older now, and you're like, I bet you think to yourself, man, I wish I did this when I was younger. I wish I had this mindset. Or what would you like tell your younger self, or tell someone who's like kind of watching, like, hey, like, give some advice to that?
I would definitely be like more, because now, like I was gonna say earlier, like now that I've gotten older, like when we were younger, because we were so like prog rock oriented. Like that's all we wanted to do. That's all we wanted to play. Like I was just like, I don't listen to the radio. I still don't really listen to radio, but like now with this job, I have to because we have to learn all the cover songs and everything. But like with our original stuff, I remember being so stubborn and like never ever wanting to listen to anything. But now I'll listen to something and I try to find one good thing to what I think. I was like, okay, well, you know what, the vocals sounded pretty good on this one, even though they were probably really mixed and processed and auto-tuned. Or like, oh, I like the way the drums sound on that one. That was a cool fill, so I try to find something now rather than just being like, that sucks, I'm not gonna listen to it. Yeah. And then even more now with having to play covers in this, like in the whole Army band. That's basically there's not a lot of bands that do original music, right? Besides the one I'm in now. Like it's a special band or whatever. Not special, broadening assignment. Sorry, I don't want to get critiqued on the wrong terminology from the Army. But yeah, I definitely try to like now when I hear some song that's went viral on Facebook, on TikTok or whatever, because actually like she's always showing me the latest whatever, and I'm always hearing the same song being played over and over, and I'm just like, and then she shows me like the actual song, and I'll sit down and actually listen to it now and just try to pick something that's like, okay, that was cool, and not just. But I probably won't listen to it again. But just
I think that's the biggest thing too is real like the musicians that can do both sides is I think that's the biggest thing we've learned is that you got to be able to do both. You got to learn how to copy note for note, and then you got to also learn how to do your own original stuff. That's the way I look at a true musician. I don't look at a true musician as like, oh, he's got the greatest fastest hands, or he's got the best double bass, or vice versa, he's got the greatest guitar solos. It's more like, can that guy be thrown in all these different environments?
I think it's just how well-rounded you are, right?
Yeah.
Just like being able to do multiple things.
Yes.
That's like the ultimate goal as a musician is to be able to be thrown in any
environment
and go. But I mean, not everyone can do that. Not everyone can play jazz. Not everyone can play rock. Especially, and I've learned that being in the Army bands too. Is that there's a lot of, because we're supposed to know how to play everything, right? Like the audition was really hard. We had to play jazz, country, rock, pop, R&B.
Jazz.
Pretty much covered everything.
But you can get away with it like you can hack through it in an audition. But when you have to actually play it, it's all like a full hour of that music.
Right.
Some people aren't strong. You can I'm not very strong in jazz guitar really. Even though we grew up playing it, I don't consider myself like, I don't be like, oh yeah, I'm a jazz guitar player too. I'm more like rock.
Right.
And other stuff, funk and whatever. That's the ultimate goal for sure.
It's just being well-rounded. I think that's that's what we have to. You have to put on multiple hats, right? You have to be able to blend in. You got to be the chameleon. That's right. You got to be able to just jump in whenever. I think that's the true definition, I think, of what a real musician is. But that's cool. I'm glad you got to share some of those backstories of what it's like being in the real world versus the local bar scene.
And I'm still not even I don't consider the Army music field as the real world either, because
that's the thing.
Well, it's a career.
Have it as a career. Unlike me, I do it as a side gig, and I get paid 80, maybe if I'm lucky, $100 on a good gig. But that's cool though. The fact that there is an actual job to tour, to play music, that's already so cool.
In the army.
But that's pros and cons. You get
benefits, you get all the good stuff too.
The pros and cons.
But I know that sometimes it's the people. You always tell me
people can be inside or outside the army and stuff, because you just with your band, so it's like
I know
sometimes one person can ruin the whole thing.
It's true.
But the only difference in the army is you're stuck with that person. You don't get fired from the army.
You can't be like.
So it's like you have to just deal with
20 years. Damn.
I guess it's just me and you. Next 20. One thing I did want to touch on was like what
his
we talked
backstory.
About Jonas Brothers. Your backstory kind of covered that. What you do, and what you would give your younger self advice of, which is a pretty cool perspective.
Just be more open minded.
And you can also I can also say this is that we are currently trying to also finish original stuff too as well. Like we're also trying to do the stuff that we love doing too, which is our own creativity and compositions.
Well, I'll kind of ask one more question. This can be for the both of you because you both are in this band.
Yeah.
You know, growing up watching you guys play, and obviously like life takes, you know, over and you guys kind of move your separate ways and stuff, right? Would there ever be a point where you all came back and decided to do music again together and like kind of, you know, really grinded it, you know, you and your brothers?
Yeah.
Would you guys ever talk about that?
I mean, that's still my ultimate dream since when we first started. Is like, if we ever toured as our band, like that would be like the ultimate thing. I don't care how much money we're making. Exactly, I just want to play our music. I don't care
what I'm getting paid $1. Okay, not $1. I'm just saying, I would love to that's my ultimate dream, is to be on stage, mic'd up, the kit, everything, and so everybody can feel the power. And
it's a possibility though. Like I would say, like from 10 years ago, maybe it was still really hard, but now, even though like a lot of people don't like our genre, instrumental progressive rock, metal, whatever, that genre is definitely making its way even in the pop industry. Like there's a lot of pop stars, like who was the artist? Her.
Oh yeah.
She literally stole a lick from Pliny.
Oh really?
Yeah, and used it in one of her songs. And I think it's her.
That's cool.
I think, or maybe it was Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa. Yeah,
she's one of those.
She's one of my favorite pop star. Her, The Weeknd. I really like Daft Punk. Those are like some of my favorites. Yeah.
But I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. Anyway, but I feel like we could make it happen if we, you know, really put the work into it this time and really Obviously, we didn't know anything about marketing when we were
that's stuff
14 years old.
That didn't really exist when it came to like your own stuff. You know, you just either had to be big and someone did it for you, or if you were.
Well, it was still old school. Like, we're going to a studio. Here's our record. Sell it to your friends.
We
made
CDs,
put it on the radio,
giving them out to people.
But now with streaming, like that's just changed everything. Yeah. So I think with this time, we'll be able to actually disperse it way better than obviously the first one.
You have the tools. You have what you need right in front of you. It's just a matter
of merchandise, like making shirts and hats.
But I think it's taken the time. These 10 years, 11 years of the gap of us learning our craft even more too.
Like separately on our own.
Yes, and I'm still trying to get master. Like I'm still trying to work on my feet more. I'm still trying to understand, the mathematic part of music still, and I'm still trying to dive in deeper into the drums.
Never stop learning.
And you always get thrown whatever it is, whether you're in a band. The idea is just to keep busy as a musician, no matter what. I think that's the idea. Try not to get stuck in one bubble. Try to really broaden your horizons. So,
has there ever been a point for either of you where it stops? Like music, like has it ever like stopped? Like you're just like, not that you're over it, but you just kind of not do it for a while.
Yeah, you kind of get.
Has there ever been a point like that?
There's been phases like that in my life where I felt like that was it with music. After like not getting an audition or whatever, there were times where I was like already throwing in the towel. I was like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I got to do something else.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should just do music as a side hobby because it's so damn hard. As far as like being I don't want to be an ed major. I want to be a performance major. I don't want to be a teacher, even though I teach on the side. That's what I do anyway. That's my profession. I'm a drum set teacher, but it's still like not what I still want to do. I still want to perform. I want to tell my story, like play, with feel on the kit. Because I want to have that limelight, right?
Yeah.
So
rightfully so.
I don't think I've had like moments where I just kind of like I'm tired, like I don't really want to play, I don't want to do anything today. But I don't think I've ever gone like, besides literally the only time was going through basic training for 10 weeks. That was probably the longest time I didn't play my guitar.
Dang.
So that kind of sucked. But I think because I've been composing music for a long time, it's like it's never stops.
Yeah.
So like that's
good.
that's what's always kept
You
me
have
going.
that ear.
I wasn't always in bands, like once I moved out of El Paso, I didn't really play in live bands as much. It was more just like really focusing, creating stuff and learning the softwares, and that's a whole other skill, like music softwares,
Yep.
Still learning that shit.
So yeah.
Mixing and mastering, YouTube, all that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just
It's pretty cool to hear your perspectives. I hope, for me being your all's friend growing up, that you guys, along with others, are able to, rekindle that band and get it back together, and whether it's performing or you guys just actually playing like within yourselves. I feel like that's what you guys enjoy the most, and hold on to that.
Right.
We're only gonna get older from here, so it's just like
and now I'm gonna be a dad, so
I'm gonna be a dad soon.
I'm gonna be an uncle.
It's like
Poor uncle.
a poor uncle.
Oh.
You're dumb. You're gonna be a great uncle.
Just kidding.
But that's cool. That's I like the perspective from that.
Yeah. Covered a lot of things, and I know, again, because this was the subject that I wanted to bring to the table, because we haven't talked about this on the channel yet, but this is a cool one, music. So
yeah,
for sure.
Awesome.
Well, I appreciate Art, you for joining us. I know your time is busy. You got a whole itinerary while you're here.
Yep.
But appreciate you being here and giving us an insight of what you do and what you continue to do, because it's
yes, sir.
From a friend's perspective, and I'm pretty sure a brother's perspective, it's cool to see like your growth from when we were younger to now. It's awesome, Something that I definitely admire. I wish like I could do that.
Sure,
music's not my thing, but I have, my certain passions that I wish I could just branch off and
esports,
keep doing,
man.
Right? Army esports, I'm coming. But I guess we'll wrap it there.
Yeah.
That'll be episode, I don't even know what we're on, but it's like 14?
13, 14, somewhere around there.
Around there. But that is it from us.
Yeah.
Art, thank you again for coming on. And,
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, right. We will catch you when we catch you.
All right, guys. See you next time.
That's me outside.
Salute.